We alive. Bay State running the boys 2020 Massachusetts High School Indoor Track and Field All-State Preview. I got my main man with me, Ken Taylor.
Ooh. Oh, you got the intro.
Hey, I got it.
My main man, Shep.
Since he went with you the first this time, I'm going to remind him that we're not live and this is recording. But
let the roast begin.
Let the roast begin.
All right, let's get going. We already did the girls, getting into the boys. It's Tuesday night, late night here at the office. We're going to get going with the 55 hurdles, which could be one of the better races on the day. There's going to be a lot of good races, so it's going to be tough to pick one over the other. But we do have the returning champion in David Peters coming back, D3 champ. The senior from Stoughton comes in with a 7.43. Not too far behind him is Samuel Matiso, who finished 6th last year from Lowell. He comes in with a 7.47. They're the only two guys that are underneath 7.5. Mm-hmm. The other two guys that were in the final last year, down at 6 is William Lord or Billy Lord from North Reading. He finished 3rd last year. And Otis Love of Newton North, who finished 5th last year. Who else is going to contend, boys?
You got it.
Guys, I'm all about the underclassmen in this one. There's some young talent. Look out. I want to give a special shout out, Shep. I want to give a special shout out to William Lord, North Reading, and the great senior class, like you mentioned, Peters, Samuel Matuso, and my man from Tewksbury. However,
where are you going with this?
Easton Tan from Winchester and Jordani Valquez from Lawrence. Look out for those boys this Saturday.
Sophomores.
Yeah, I mean,
sophomores.
I'm gonna in a race like the hurdles. I'm gonna stick to the seniors for me. And Peters, Matiso. You got to remember, Lord was doing the 55 hurdle double last week. I feel like he's just gonna focus on the hurdles this week, so he'll be a little bit more fresh. And I believe he's been at least in the 7.5s.
Yep.
This season. So
yeah,
I just see the returning champ. I have a hard time believing he's going to get beat, but if anybody can do it, it'd be Matiso or Lord in my eyes.
I agree. Lord's ranked. He has a 3rd fastest time in the state this year. And then on your senior talk here, if you look at this, 9 out of the top 11 boys in this field are seniors.
Yeah,
that's
just
pretty
have
incredible.
Just the 2 sophomores that you mentioned. I think they'll do well, but I do think that the senior leadership is in just being there and having done it in the hurdles. Such a technical event where you can't let nerves take over. Mm-hmm. That's going to be important. So it's David Peters from Stoughton for me, repeating as champion.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm going to echo that, but we have to give love to Billy Lord out there. He's
been crushing it.
He's been crushing it. He's been on fire. So
yeah, and
he's going to give him a run.
The only other 2 that we didn't mention in the top 8, you got to give some love to Zach Lalonde of Tewksbury, comes in with a 7.58, and then Nathan Hebert of Central Catholic, he's in there at a 7.68, and that rounds out the top 8 guys in the hurdles. So it'll be good. All right, how about the dash?
So we know who the players are.
Yes, we do.
We do know who the players are, but Shep, I thought about you when I was looking at the previews. I thought about you.
Thinking about the 55 dash?
I was thinking about you because your alums, your alumni, the URI Rams, are going to be landing my main man, Tristan Howard and Derek Chalmers. Okay. So that leads into my 55.
Now I understand why when you thought
I wanted to give you your props. I wanted to give the URI Rams.
I did run the 400, so I was technically on the bubble of
the sprint
middle distance hybrid.
This has a lot of seniors. Talented seniors.
Yes.
Katang, Howard, Amik Watterson, Brockton, Brian Santos.
Amik had a huge race last week with that 6.49, so maybe he's starting to think that he can hang with these guys.
However.
Oh, the big however.
However, there's 3 athletes that are below the radar, and I believe that they're going to run well.
Well, Brian Santos is the top returner. He finished runner-up.
Brian's my man, but that's not what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give a kid in your conference some love. 1-3, shout out to the body. Luke Chapman.
I don't have a conference.
Luke Chapman, Pembroke.
Oh, the Patriot League. We're not in there yet.
Patriot League. Yeah. My main man, Jermaine from Lawrence, and most important, who I think has a potential
It's all about the
upset.
sophomores.
I know where he's going.
all
I have a
about the
potential
sophomores.
upset, guys.
The king of speed. Say it.
Say his name, Jonas
Clark,
Clark.
baby.
Jonas Clark.
King of speed.
Watch out.
Sophomore from South Hadley.
That's right.
Watch out.
Monster 6'4" last week in those fresh Bay State running made singlets.
Yeah.
South Hadley, yes.
Only
Watch out.
3 100ths behind Richmond Quatang.
And
Watch out.
And you got to think Richmond Quatang is going to go after that meet record of 6'3" by Christopher McConnell, which is also, I believe, the. Oh no, he's already run 6'3" this season.
Yeah.
So he's got the capability, and he's outside of Brian Santos. Brian Santos tweaked his hammy earlier in the season, so he's only getting stronger every week that he's back.
Brian's
Is this
back.
the week that he's completely back? Is next week the week he's back? Is it not till nationals? As long as it holds up and he gets stronger, who knows when he's going to be back and pushing like he was last week. But it could happen any week. I'm going to stick with Quatang.
A guy that we didn't mention yet, he's not in the top 8, but again, Billy Lord. I know he had a tall order last week.
I don't think he's going to run the 55.
He
but,
might not,
yeah.
because I think he's going to concentrate on the 55 hurdles. But
There's
he
only
has
so
the
much-
third fastest time in the state this year in the 55.
I know, but there's only
Really
so
tough.
much room for error, and if you focus on
And
two
going back to back to
high-level
back to back.
events that are back to, it's easier to
Especially
do
at
it
this
last
level.
week. When
Yep.
you get up here, it's tougher to do. So, Quatang,
I'm going with the king of speed,
King of
Jonas
speed,
Clark.
Jonas
the
Clark.
I like to see
sophomore.
I believe that, Shep, I'm with
No
you.
offense, Richmond. We love you, buddy.
No, Lowell's going to win. They're going to be in a team
and-
battle.
and
I think there's a
Richmond
new
Quatang
king.
is going to win in a sub 6'3". So,
Woo!
you guys can go with the king of speed. He's going to have a long, good career, but he's just a sophomore. It's Quatang for me.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Let's
mile?
get into the boys' mile, take a dive into some distance, and then jump back into the sprints in a
Sounds
little bit.
good.
All right, we got another returning champion, Michael Griffin. He comes in with the top seed,
Tennessee
4:16. It looked very comfortable last week in the mile because he was even able to come back for the 2 mile. We don't know if he's going to do that again this week. He's going to have a little bit more of a challenge this week. You have Steven Jackson of St. John's Prep, ran a 4:18. Blew the doors off the last lap. I think it was like a 29 last lap. Tyler Brogan, who has a 4:18 PR, he finished 6th last year. He should be in the mix. To me, it's those 3 are the ones that can, fight for the title. I don't think anybody else has the ability to go in the 4:15, 4:16 range right now. But other guys that, if they have a good day, could be sub 4:20. Zach Barry's having a really good season.
Yep.
Will Kenny, he finished 8th last year as a sophomore.
Yep.
He's not quite to his PR yet, which I believe is 4:22, but he has the ability as well. Justin Lombardi had a monster 6-second PR, I believe. Last week went from 4:31 to 4:24.
He had a great
That puts you're a good miler to you're one of the best milers. Just boom in one race. Simon Leclerc looked very easy, even though he had also a big PR, 7 seconds as well. We knew he was capable of that because he had already run 2:33 in the 1,000 this season. He could be a guy that maybe outside of my big 3, I guess you would say, in Griffin and Jackson and Brogan, could maybe be in that mix. So that's my breakdown of the mile. I guess you guys can go now.
You mentioned a lot of the guys. The only thing I would add, there's 19 guys here with a 10-second differential fighting for medal spots. So
Yeah.
I always look at that holistically, and that to me is exciting behind those top 3 guys that you mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, you have Jason Orris all the way down there in 16th. He's still trying to come back from injury.
Yeah.
Put up a good fight last week. That you could see this a lot with a lot of teams. You could see people saving guys for the 4x8. The 4x8 gets jacked up a little bit more this week, and you can't have.
I believe so.
You can't have those 2-0 mids and 2-0 highs holding
know it.
down the squad. So there could be some more guys running fresh, and maybe Norris, just because he's going to be in the unseated, maybe he runs fresh. Mikey Griffin for me.
Yeah, I mean, he's...
I picked Mikey, just so we can rewind here a little bit. Who picked Mikey Griffin last year for not only divisionals, but all states?
We did.
Even when he was just,
team.
We did.
At all states, we did?
Didn't I pick him?
No.
I didn't pick Mike.
This guy was on fire last year at all states. You don't remember this? He picked her. He picked him. I picked everybody at all states last
We
year.
gotta go back and look at the results.
Let's get real here.
Griffin was an upset at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, Griffin
All
was an
right.
upset.
We have to
It
go
was
back
loaded
and look at
last
the
year.
results.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the Division I XC All-State.
We'll rewind that and
cross-country
get back
champ.
to you. He's playing a little dumb right now, but all right, Griffin for me.
I think Griffin's going to prove his worth to the University of Tennessee, and I think he's going to win as well.
Go Vols.
I'm gonna plead the fifth right now.
Really?
Oh, he's got some cards in the game.
Ooh.
We have some cards in the game.
There's a name in here we didn't mention, Shane
So-
Grant, but I think we're going to talk
Shane
about
Grant
him
runs
soon.
the 1,000.
Yeah, Shane's not going to be in here.
I think it's a closer battle than people think. It's gonna be a good one.
Yep.
Tyler Brogan comes back. Keep an eye out on Steven Jackson. Roll Eagles.
Okay. Boys 6, and this is one of those events where you just look at the seed list and you're like, oh, anybody can win.
Anybody, even out of the penultimate heat.
Yeah.
I wrote that in my notes. Like,
Anyone.
yes.
I mean, Peter Diebold, he finished runner-up last year, so he's your top returner. He does have the top time on the stage. It's a 120. Do you have it written down
Yeah, I got it
exactly?
right here.
120 low, right?
It's a 120.2.
Okay, so he's got the best opportunity of going out there and running a 119, but it's been maybe a little bit inconsistent with his times with the 6 this season. This is the big dance though, so this is the one you would expect him to go get it done. But the unseeded heat to me could be a 121 race.
I agree.
Serious.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so
Serious.
there's some guys in there. Hayden McEnroe from Haverhill, he has run 122.4, I believe, at his conference meet. He just got edged by Evan Mills, the D2 champion, who just edged out my guy, Clay McDonald from
I was
Marshfield.
going to say Clay McDonald's has broken 123, so.
Yeah, he's also run 122 as well. So there's already 2 122 guys in that unseeded heat. They're going to be looking to, and they're going to have lane preference, and they're not going to be coming out of lane 1 or 2 like they would be from the seeded heat. So it'll be interesting to see what the third fastest, the second fastest, what they drop beforehand when guys like Joshua Backert and Justin Levy, who moved up, the sophomore sensation from Newton South,
Wow.
he had another big PR running 121.38. You have Nathaniel Peters from Stoughton, the junior. He's been running well. James Abraham had a huge race last week. We'll see if he wants more or if he's capable of more. Christopher Tilton, Silver Lake, he had a big race last week. So did Bradley Diaz. So, and all the way down at 14th, and this is kind of the last guy we even need to mention, Jonathan Polanco Soto. Okay, he's taken him a little while to get where he is this season. Ran 125 here, and now he's run 123. Finished third last year. Okay, and he's run 120 high, if I believe so, before. So we'll see what he drops. He'll be in that. That's why I mentioned the third fastest heat as well, not just the second, because he could drop a 120 or a 121.
Yep.
And then
He's
the
done it
second,
before. I have it right there.
and then the second heat's going to be like, oh, we can maybe drop a 120 or 121.
Yeah.
And then the seed heat may be looking at it and be like, oh crap! Not only do I have to beat X, Y, and Z, I also got to beat this time. So the 6 could be very interesting on the boys' side because you got pay attention to the times.
Yes.
I don't think the meet record of 118.76 by Rodney Aguirre, Burcoat legend, is in any trouble from 2017. But we could see some really good races and not just the seeded heat in the 6.
Agreed.
I'm gonna plead the 5th because I have an athlete in the race. But who do you guys have?
Ken?
Yeah, I'm going Peter. I'm going Diebold.
Okay.
I think you go Debo. I'm going to stick in the same conference, and I'm going to go with the sophomore sensation, taps into his daddy's genes.
Wow.
Wayne Levy was a 10K champion at Amherst. So Justin has it in the system.
Yep. I mean, this ain't the 10K, brother.
It's not the 10K. It's not the 10K.
I know, but if
he's there, which I believe he'll be, and then no bias, but I believe that Clay McDonald has more in the tank. And keep an eye out on. It's tough, but James Abraham. And why I say that, because I know he's tenacious, his coach is tenacious. They will be prepared. Don't count Brookline out. That's my thought.
We won't. Okay, so good. We got Diebold.
Justin Levy.
Is it
On the
Levy or
upset.
Levy?
Levy on the upset.
We'll find that out maybe after the race when you could be interviewing him. We'll see. All right, on to the 1,000.
Oh, I'm excited about this one.
I mean, yeah, it's got
On paper,
well, the thing is,
it's awesome.
on paper, it looks
Right.
like, oh man, same with the 6. A lot of
Right.
people could win this, but kind of like underneath all the writing, just like Debo has a big PR this season compared to everyone else. Shane Grant has run 229
He's the
twice,
only one to break 230.
and he's run 229 flat, so he's on the verge of 228.
Yep.
He finished third last year. Very much thought he was going to go win it last year. Ran out of a little gas right at the end. Challenging him, Jackson O'Toole. He's the only other top returner. He finished 5th last year. He looked very smooth in that 231.62. Thomas Dinsmore got back to racing well after a couple tough ones.
Yes.
232. Marco Kovacevic from Concord Carlisle, 232 as well. Pothier. D2 really showed some depth in the 1,000. Not only was it a good race, but they ran fast as well. Miles Reardon did it all by himself from Brookline. He led from gun to tape and looked strong while doing it. That's the group that I think is going to be in the mix. I mean, Andrew McGovern, he's got better than a 234 from Lexington.
Yes.
In him. I could see him, bouncing back, even though I think it was a PR. He has more in the tank than a 234.
Guys, I think it's going to be a rematch of the Bay State.
Yeah.
Shane Grant, Jackson O'Toole, and I like Thomas Dinmore. Thomas has been running really, really well, but the way Shane ran that 229, he looked like he was tough to beat. But it's hard for me, once again, I got to tip my hat to the Brookline staff because Miles Reardon off an amazing cross-country season with that cross-country base. Great coaching over there. Keep an eye out on Miles Reardon, Brookline. He might shake that thing up. But other than that, Shane Grant for the win.
Shane Grant.
Jackson O'Toole comes back, the 4x8. We'll see.
The face-off up top here with O'Toole and Grant. I have to go Grant. They faced off already this year earlier at the state coaches large meet. Shane came out victorious there he broke 230 there. He beat O'Toole by 3 seconds in that race. It was a pretty tactical race by Shane, just based on his prior experience with him. I pick Shane.
Okay.
All right. Boys 300, back to the sprinting events. And this is going to be a quick one. I mean, anytime you don't have Stanley Hansey from Methuen in the seeded heat, something's got to give. The seeded heat's going to comprise of Stephen Harris, who has the number 1 seed from Bill Ricker, 34.33. There might not be much to him. He's not, overwhelmingly big, and he doesn't take up much of the track. But boy, can that kid fly.
He's got wheels.
Derek Chalmers, bigger figure, taller, 34.60. That's going to be a great matchup to watch. I think it's between those two. Do we think anybody else can challenge? I don't think anyone else can challenge, but give all your shout-outs, H.
Well, since you brought up Chalmers, who will be Tristan Howard's roommate, URI, Shep.
Oh, Chalmers is going to URI too?
Chalmers and Howard are going to be roommates at URI. Okay. I knew you were going to like that one.
Rody.
Well, but there's a name.
Rams.
I got my main man. Go Dot Gaskins. Go get him. Go Dot Gaskins. Go Dot ran 35. The kid from Marblehead. He can move. And you also got to give a shout out to the Sprint Factory, Tracktown USA, Acton Boxborough. Yeah, Jacob Kyle will be in it.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
He kind of stole it last week.
He stole it. Yeah. But there's a kid that what he's doing indoors, gentlemen, I'm not taking away from what he'll do, but this is going to be the nail in the coffin for outdoors. Jeff Yang from Plymouth North.
He's the best 400 hurdler in the state.
Will be the best 400 hurdler in the state, and he's already running 35. Watch out for Jeff Yang outdoors. He's working on his mechanics now.
And I believe for later on the road. And watch out for what Stanley Hansey does in a preferred lane, not by himself, but preferred lane, trying to drop something really quick for those guys to think about in this heat.
Unseeded section will podium and maybe win.
Yeah,
I'm with you on
another
that.
Acton Boxborough kid and Ryan Forrest will be there. Zach Fisher of Carver another junior, Alexander Sherman Jr. So, and you can't forget about Isaiah Laguerre from Brockton.
Izzy's in the house, but my main man, Stephen Harris from Billerica.
Yeah, boy can fly.
He can fly.
All right.
It's hard to pick.
Are you going to pick someone there?
Stephen Harris.
Oh, you're going Stephen Harris. Sorry.
For sure.
Yeah. Boys 2 mile.
Bruce.
It was a show in D2 last week. William Chaffin, Mikey Griffin, Michael Norberg, Stephen Carvalho, all D2 guys went 9:18, 9:22, 9:23, 9:25.
It's a great field.
The only thing that changes this week is you're going to throw a few more guys in there. Sean Kay dropped the 4:32 second mile. He finished 9th last year, so from Arlington Catholic, he's going to be looking to go under 9:20 for the first time. I don't know. That's kind of where I see it. I don't see more than Chaffin, Griffin, maybe Norberg, and Kay going sub 9:20. Where are you guys' heads at?
I would just say 6th through 10th. I always look holistically. It's only a 2-second difference between these guys: Kyle Sarney, Ian Horsberg, Tim Flanagan, Micah Benson, and Alex Brown. They're all going for those last, at least to get a medal.
Yeah.
They're all fighting for a medal.
Speaking of a medal, who knows, man? The unseeded heat has the likes of Andrew Cabral, who has run, I believe, 9:34 before.
Drew
it has
Pesco.
Tobias Lesperance, who has run 9:33 this season. So you
Drew
could
Pesco's in that as well.
Yeah, you could
Joe Ben.
You could see some low 9:30s.
Yeah.
Maybe if someone has a career day, sub 9:30 from the unseeded heat to put a little pressure on the medal spots, podium spots from the seeded guys.
Guys, question for you.
Yeah, I think I know what you're
Question
going to ask.
I was gonna ask is that so Mike won Mike won the mile,
Yep.
but can Mike close that gap in the 2 mile?
That's exactly what I was gonna
think
ask.
so back-to-back weeks because Chaffin's going to have that foot on the gas even more than he had it last week, knowing what he's got behind him. So,
And he brought that up in the interview.
Mike's got to work harder in the mile this week, and that's huge. He was smooth last week. He's going to have to work harder in the mile, and to do it back-to-back weeks, like I said, I think it'd be really, and obviously I'm not doubting Mikey Griffin by any means. I was all over picking him last year when you wouldn't jump along with me.
Mike knows I got love for you, Mike.
Hey, I'll stay me. It was me, man. I'm taking Chaffin though in the 2 mile. CC.
Yeah, I think if Griffin does the mile, you have to take Chaffin. I agree. There's no young guys to pick.
During
there's
the
no
interview, William brought that up. He said that I needed to take it all hard because of Mike, but a part of me feels like Mike was there with his teammate. I don't think he really got going until like the last 100 meters.
I don't know about that.
I know he struggled, but 4:18, 9:23 is tough. Tough double.
Yeah. We're just asking you to pick a winner.
For now, I'm gonna tip my hat to the NXN Northeast champion, the Dartmouth commit. But
there's always
can Michael Griffin pull it off if he doubles?
You need these hypotheticals.
I think he can.
All right, on to the 4x2.
All right.
All right, there's so many good races. The All-State meet, it should be. Lowell, Lawrence, and Acton Barksboro are all seated at 130. AB I think they got stuck behind and had a lot of trouble passing. So if AB can get out in front somehow, I think they can challenge for that win and maybe run 129.
AB's the only team to go under
to already
130.
Run,
They're the
run
only
129.
ones.
So
yeah.
They just can't be running from behind. It's too tough to pass. So that will be interesting for sure. And then there's 4 other teams at 131 in Brockton, Wellesley, Bill Ricker, and Shepherd Hill. So give the small school Triton some love too. They're running really, really well. To me, I still think Lowell gets out with I believe they go early with Quatang again and get out.
That early lead, get the clean handoffs.
Yeah, they're tough to beat.
But the 4x2, it's a dicey race. It's so fast. You can see somebody come out of that penultimate heat I'm not saying it's going to win, but that could displace for sure.
If there's some pushing and shoving in the seat, you never know what can happen time-wise.
You brought something up, and I don't want to take too much time.
You
Shepard
take
Hill
too
will
much
be,
time?
Shepard Hill will be faster. Like you said, Brian Santos, a week more. Like Coach Harmon said, Brian more. So shout out to Kobe, Jean-Guillaume, and Nathan Cooper. Shepard Hill boys will be faster.
Okay.
And my last one, they're both in the MVC. They're the second seed, but I'm very proud of the team out of Lawrence, Massachusetts. Those boys have been running phenomenal. Shout out to the boys in Lawrence, and I smell an upset.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Let's go, Lawrence.
Okay.
All right, on to the 4x8. Wellesley comes in with the top seed from last week, 802. All right, Lexington has run
Sub
758 on the season, so I believe we're going to see some more fresh legs out of them. And then it's throw it up in the air. North Andover 805, Franklin 807, Concord 809, Newton North 809, Lowell 809, Marshfield 809. So Brookline and Lexington right there. Lexington, like you said, the Brookline boys have been running well. So there's a lot of teams that are going to be in this mix, and it's really tough to predict who's going to end up on that podium.
And you mentioned this early between coaching personnel decisions and who stays fresh and who's coming in tired. I think that's going to make a big difference here, and that's going to.
So I got a squad in here, so I'm not going to predict a winner. Who do you guys got?
I'm taking Lexington because they've dipped below 8. I know they're coming in ranked 9th, but they have more manpour than that, and they were getting after it.
Well, they were trying
at
to.
their meet.
They were trying to, be
Right.
top
They were
three
trying
at
to
their
get as
meet.
many
So
points as they
yeah.
could.
H, who do you got?
I agree with my Lex guys, Foss family, but keep an eye on number 17. Northampton ran 802. They've ran 802 this year.
I think they're going to focus on their individual events.
So if Northampton doesn't focus, if they focus on the individual events, that's one thing. But I agree with you guys. I like Lexington a lot. And let's see, does Jackson and Zach Berry and Jason Norris, what did the senior trio do on their last hurrah at All States?
All right, 4x4. Could be a tight one. Newton North comes in with the top time of 325. AB 326. Weston 328. BC High 328, but they've run a little faster this season.
Exactly.
Lexington has also run 328. North Andover is the only other team that are under 330 with a 329. So that's going to be a tight seeded heat with a lot of teams in the mix. I mean, Newton North, man, they are a 4x4 factory. They're always in the mix. Even when you think they're down, they're not down.
They always have somebody else going
All
in.
right, so I'm going Newton North, but wouldn't be surprised if Acton Boxborough is there in the end.
Yep.
Also, North Andover has run 326 or 325 maybe on the season already. So North Andover has an opportunity to be there as well.
I'm curious. I'm going to give a shout out to the boys in the Catholic Conference. I'm
Okay.
curious to see what BCI does.
That's what I was going to say.
BCI has a lot of
They
talent.
have the second fastest time in the state with a 326.
Yeah, BCI has the talent. Let's see what they do that day. Are they going to go fresh? If they go fresh, look out BC High.
All right, high jump. John McNeil, Revenge Tour. John
put on a clinic.
McNeil, 6'9". We had a nice video of that.
Yeah,
maybe
that aerial video you guys had was awesome.
Maybe give that 6'11".
The action cam. The BSR action cam was awesome last week, you guys.
Maybe give Corey Thomas 6'11", at least an attempt or two or three. Austin Maury of Algonquin's in there at 6'6". Mike Mazaka of Zavarian, he's jumping really well.
He is.
Elijah Tenias Claude,
Yes.
junior. He's only 2 seasons into his high jump career. He's only in with a 6'6", but he has jumped 6'8".
Yes.
This season. Andrew Williams, I think, is right at his PR of 6'6". So there's a lot of guys that are in that 6'6" range right now. John McNeil is the top dog, but there is another guy in the field that's jumped 6'8". So it's going to be an interesting high jump to follow throughout the meet.
So when I'm looking at high jumpers, I look at consistency and then the amount of jumps that they're doing, right? So John McNeil last week jumped 8 times, and he cleared on his first height every single jump. That to me is virtually unbeatable. He's coming in the top seed. It's hard to pick against a guy who can jump 8 times in a row and hit that top.
Yeah.
And hit that top jump every time. And he beat an 11-year-old record from D4. So
Yeah.
I agree with you, Ken. I think Tenias Claude is going to have a big day. He just has a lot of jumping to do. He's the 4th seed in the long jump. You got high jumping. That might tax the body. And John will be in there fresh, just focusing on just clearing.
John McNeil for me. John McNeil.
We're across the board, John McNeil.
Okay. Boys long jump. Richmond Quitang is your top returner. He finished runner-up last year. I believe he just hit 23 on like his second jump and said, "Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna go get ready for any other events that I have for the rest of the day." may have to take the full jumps on Saturday. Patrick McManus, just a junior from Sharon's, having a monster year. He comes in with 22.7.
Oh, we have a guest star.
We have a friend here, little Benny. And then we have Brady Sorensen, Plymouth North. He's also at 22.7. And those guys have kind of distanced themselves. But in fifth, you have Derek Chalmers, who finished 7th last year. He's jumped in the 22s.
Yep.
And then down at 12th, you have David Peters, who finished 9th last year from Stoughton. So those are some other guys that could be in that 22 mid to high range and have a run at this thing, or a jump at this thing, if you will.
Quitang's broken 23 twice this year. He's the only guy to do it. Hey, pal. And it's hard to pick against this guy.
Yeah, I'm going Quitang.
Me too. He's an incredible athlete. He's coming. He might get 2 state titles on Saturday. He might get 55
and have a chance at leading Lowell to
the 4x2, right?
Possible state titles. So,
we're all agreeing on Richmond Quitang, but let's give a shout out to the other guys on the podium. You brought up Patrick McManus.
Yeah.
Sharon, he's gonna have a great race. I do have a horse in this, so I'm gonna be rooting for my guy. Down at number 7. Harry Porter-Riel, St. John's, Roll Eagles. I think Harry has a big jump.
All right,
and
guys.
then
Benny's, we got to wrap this thing up. Benny's getting a little antsy.
All right.
So we're going to move to the shot put. All right. And I don't think no one's going to disagree
I love
here.
this kid.
He's the only top returner in here.
Division 5.
Yep. Finished 5th last year. Division 5 monster. I don't see him challenging Aiden Felty. Meet record of 66.
But he's got that same spirit and personality.
He's gonna try and throw 60. Joseph Rivers from Lunenburg, D5.
Tough.
Lowell obviously gonna be looking for big team points out of Luis Kadime. Comes in with a 52.5. Sam Maloof of Zavarian has a 51 throw. Ronan Folan has thrown 52 on the season, so don't be surprised if he gets runner-up. Mark Edge from Stoughton gonna be looking for some team points.
That's gonna be huge for them. Well, I think we're all in agreement. Joseph Rivers.
I root for Joseph Rivers merely based on the fact that anytime we talk to this kid or give him an interview, he's the first one to give credit to his coaches and his teammates, and he's just the most humble kid in the world. And good looking out, Joseph Rivers. Way to represent.
Shout out to Joe. Good dude. Joe's a good guy.
That's our boys.
Max Gilmore, baby.
Oh, we're not done.
We're not done.
Oh,
we're not done.
Yeah. Yep.
And this kid,
you had the pleasure of interviewing him.
I had a pleasure of meeting Max, and Max Gilmore is one of our para athletes here in Massachusetts. Max had a phenomenal day last week. 55 yards, 300 yards in the wheelchair, and then he does a shot. Max told me, he says, "Coach, I actually like the 3.
Yeah.
Over the 55, the longer the distance, he gets to roll it out even more." Humble kid, great athlete, huge for our sports. We salute you, Max, for everything that you do.
Good luck this weekend. All right, that does it for us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
My guys.
Boys, all-state meet preview. We will see
you guys Saturday.
Everybody Saturday. We're very much looking forward to the meet.
Good luck, everyone. Cheers.
Get him.